And people stayed at home and read books and listened, and they rested and did exercises and made art and played and learned new ways of being and stopped and listened more deeply. Someone meditated, someone prayed, someone met their shadow, and people began to think differently, and people healed. Wishing you a Hag Sameach, a happy Passover, and a fantastic week ahead. In fact, it is a little out of place to wish a fantastic week when we are facing this corona pandemic and everybody is in a state of shutdown. But that is how we Jews wish each other after the Shabbat, the Jewish Saturday. And we just finished the Jewish Saturday amongst the festival of Passover. So we are celebrating this festival of Passover, which commemorates the exodus of Jews from Egypt about 3,300 years ago. The Jewish Torah has an idea that the world was created by God, the Almighty, the Creator, in 7 days. 6 days He did the creation, and on the 7th day He rested, and hence He asked the Jewish people to rest. Basically, we are forbidden to do any kind of physical creative labor on the Shabbat. So what do? Basically it is a day of rest. But what we do is we go inwards. It is a day of spiritual growth. It is a day that is dedicated to the Spirit in us. And that is traditionally from since the Torah was given 3,300 years plus years ago, till today, the Jewish people have been doing that. They dedicate 6 days to labor, finding a livelihood, doing all kinds of work. And on the 7th day, they take a day off. It is a lockdown, it is a day of rest. And in fact, I see that even in our times, the world has taken the 6 days too seriously. In fact, they are involved only with the idea of the 6 days of creation, of labor, of physicality, of overpowering nature. Maybe this current situation is sending us back into a state where we are all in a state of Shabbat, a state where we need to go inwards, a state where we need to rebalance ourselves, because that's what nature is doing. Nature is balancing out whatever extremities we have done with it, all the imbalances that have been caused by human beings over the years, and is trying to set itself into its state of harmony. Although it is causing us a lot of pain, causing us a lot of deaths and mourning and state of lockdown and state where we cannot really function as human beings normally. But on the other hand, it is giving us an opportunity to go inwards, to strike that balance ourselves, where we need to find the right balance. The second idea that I would like to share with you has to do with the Passover. The Passover, in fact, is a remembrance of a 3,300 plus years ago event that caused the Jewish people who were slaves in Egypt to become free people. But that event happened again amongst pandemics. There were 10 plagues that came upon the Egyptian people, on Egypt, and the Jewish people learned something very important from it. They were the ones who benefited from those events, and they were able to free themselves, and they became a people in their own right. But they decided to celebrate the Passover, the festival of Passover, as a commemoration of these events, of what happened in Egypt, so that it never happens again. There are two ideas that we really celebrate the Passover with. The first idea is, as I said, commemoration. commemorate the event that allowed them to become free, and the hand of God, and thank Him. And the second and the more important aspect is to educate the next generation, to teach your child what happened then and why it should never happen again, how God intervened to see that balance was restored. We celebrate freedom on Pesach because we became free, and we understand that freedom is such an important and close concept for Hashem, that He is close to His heart. And today, when we are all in a state of lockdown, we crave for freedom. From these ideas, we can also study and learn and take away some very important things. First, a pandemic like this, although on a global level may have been the first time in the history of human beings, but it has not been the first time that we have faced epidemics. Pandemics have happened, and they have led people to go indoors. This poetry was written in 1869 malaria epidemic. It goes like this. And people stayed at home and read books and listened, and they rested and did exercises and made art and played and learned new ways of being and stopped and listened more deeply. Someone meditated, someone prayed, someone met their shadow, and people began to think differently, and people healed. And in the absence of people who lived in ignorant ways, dangerous, meaningless, and heartless, the earth also began to heal. And when the danger ended and people found themselves, they grieved for the dead and made new choices and dreamt of new visions and created new ways of living and completely healed the earth just as they were healed. So it is a time of healing. The more important thing is, this poem was written about a century ago, more than a century ago, but it's still relevant because we are facing the same problem. The reason we are facing the same problem is because we have not learned. Maybe this is a time, and this is the last time, we should take it seriously and decide that this is the last time anything like that can happen. Because if we heal ourselves and we heal the world, then it is incumbent on us as human beings to preserve it in that state of healing, to preserve it in that state of harmony. And if we learn from our mistakes and we renew with hope and strength that this particular time in our history teaches us, we will be able to then celebrate Pesach as the freedom that the Jewish people are celebrating for the past 3,000 years for the whole world. That the world has healed itself and has been able to live in harmony with nature. Thank you very much.